Welcome back to Lina World Kitchen. Today I'm going to introduce you to a new dish, or rather an accessory probably, which is called ghee. Those of you who don't know what the word ghee means, ghee comes from the word Sanskrit or Hindi. What they use is clarified butter. And it's extremely beneficial for people with dry skin, dryness inside. And if you're familiar with the 3 types in Ayurveda of people's types, constitutions that they take with them with their birth, they're called Pitta, Vata, and Kapha. And Pitta is the fire, then Vata is the air, and Kapha is the earth, okay? And most of us are like, it's a mixture of these few constitutions. So we have like 50% of this, 30% of this, 20% of something else. So we have one predominant constitution normally, and then we have, or sometimes some people have like deranged constitution. We call it just one almost 100% Vata or Kapha or Pitta. But clarified butter, going back to ghee, is very beneficial for Vata people because it calms them down, makes them more stable. Vata is all air, you know, a lot of things moving, going. There is no roots, no stability. And for Pitta people who have a lot of fire, they're always on the go. And there is sometimes this emotion of, which is good if it's like willpower, going, doing, but also can be expressed in anger, a lot of heat. So clarified butter, ghee, is very beneficial to cool down the body. Frankly, I take ghee every morning with warm water. When I drink it, I take a tablespoon of it, okay? Because it really clears and cleanses all the channels. It lubricates large intestines. It just smoothens everything. So there's no dryness inside. Very good for bowel movements. It's one of the top things. I have met people who cannot even smell ghee or think of ghee, but actually it's one of the top things you can have and you must have in your kitchen. And once you make it, to keep it in a dry place, and it can stay good for a couple of years. You don't need to keep it even in the fridge. So what I do, here I have some village ghee, okay, that I got from the village. So I just cut it in half. You can buy it from the shop too, but the residue that will come down will be more of these black things. I'll show you later in the process. Best if you can get some organic or from the village, you know, somebody can give you. Okay, so what I will do, I will put that ghee now inside the little pot that I prepared here. It's also, make sure that it's not a burning type. This is like very good metal, so it doesn't burn. So make sure it's dry, no water is inside, okay? And I'll put it in here. And I can also just cut it in like a little smaller pieces, you know what I mean? So it was in the fridge. That particular butter was in the fridge. Now just that it melts faster, because we need to melt it at a very, very slow fire heat. Okay, so this is what I've just cut in small pieces. I'll use wooden utensils because I don't want to use any metal here when I make ghee. And I prepared an empty clay pot for ghee afterwards when it's done. Okay, so now I'll put it on very low fire. Make sure it's very, very low fire. Okay, fire. So I'll show you what's happening here. As you can see in the process, we got white froth here. You can see white froth, right? So we're gonna scoop away that white froth, and again, I'm gonna use my wooden utensils. I just prepared a little cup here. It doesn't matter where you use it to just scoop away that white froth from the top, okay? Just a little bit, and I'll show you in a second. And you'll see that the color is already changing, okay? You can see white froth here is being scooped out. You see the color is turning into golden color. So I'll continue that process until all my white froth, as you can see, is taken, scooped out from this pot. And it's still on a very slow fire. You can see it simmering, bubbling a little bit, okay? So I will keep doing this until I finish. This is the first removal, like skimming. Let's see, we're another 10-12 minutes later. Let's see what's happening in our ghee department. You see, it's already clear, light amber color. It's turning into pure green light amber color. Very nice. And let's see. Okay, what does it show? You see the clear color, right? Don't mix it with bottom. Don't scratch, don't scrub, don't do anything. You can just remove the foam a little bit from the top, just a few drops of that sour cream looking substance here, which I actually use. I like it for my food sometimes. Okay, and you see there is a residue at the bottom. That residue, when you pour out the ghee, will become black. It is actually black, and you don't use it. This is the bad stuff. And if you're using butter from the shop, and the worse the quality, the more black residue you will have at the bottom while making ghee. Okay, so what I will do now, I'll just switch it off. You saw the final stage has to be clear. It's see-through. You can see at the bottom. And I'll switch off the gas here. And normally I would pour it out in the clay pot, which I normally use. But for you to show how the color should look like, I'm just going to pour it first in the glass jar so that you have a better idea and understanding how the color should look like. Okay, so be careful, don't burn yourself. You can see a little bit more. Don't yeah, be careful and don't mix and put the residue in that. Yes, see, it's almost full. Yes. Okay, so now the color, be careful, it's hot. But I just want to show you how the color looks like. Look, it's see-through amber light color. And normally I like to keep in this container, so I'll pour it outwards later. It will become thicker once it, like overnight, probably depends where you are, what kind of temperatures you live in. So the cooler the temperatures becomes a little thicker, like in the substance a little coarse, congeals a little bit. But again, it's one of the most beneficial foods in Ayurveda, in any science that you look at, and it's for constipation, for cooling the body, for moisturizing your cells, has omega fatty acids, omega-3, vitamin A. It's used in cosmetics. I even had once a treatment done to purify my eyes. I felt they were very dry. I was in India and they used a special ghee technique. Of course, on the skin you can apply it as well. Before you wash your hair for half an hour, you can leave on your hair too. That's another talk. I'll discuss about it later. But at least this is for eating purposes, and I like to start my day. If I don't take a spoon of some healthy oil, let's say if I'm in a hot climate, I like maybe coconut oil because it's liquid, right? In cold climates, it doesn't suit that climate because coconut oil is cooling, and why would I eat something that congeals? That's not natural. I'm against that law of nature, eating what is in tune with nature in that particular climate, okay? So, but ghee doesn't have that congealing property as strong at all. And colder climates can get a little bit harder, like in winter, you don't need to refrigerate it. Remember that. Keep it outside as long as there is no contact with water. You're safe. It will stay. It will not go bad. Again, welcome to the ghee world within the Lina world.